Welcome, guys, to another episode of No Cap Sports, man. Today we got the crew. I'm here. We got Vance, the king of North Mississippi, man. And we got my guy, Memphis 10 Hefe. So, as you can tell by the intros, we got a very special Memphis-centered episode. And that's because we got a very special guest here today. So, Josh, let the people know who we got here today with us, man.
Thank you, King Vaughn. I appreciate it, man.
Tight shit, tight shit, tight shit.
Hey, brother, you said it not me. You said it not me, dog. With the intro, we got, like I said, we got a guy that I'm still a fan of. I had the pleasure of working with this summer. A guy that
Yes, sir.
tolerated my antics in the newsroom. As these two know, D Mike, you got a taste of. I got a good personality, man. I like to be out there, and I'm
For
gonna share
sure.
one story that y'all gonna like, Vance and Nick, that D Mike you might remember. My first assignment, the what was that? The not summer league. Pro-am. It was pro-am.
Yeah.
Time, y'all, first week out. And y'all know, like, how the pro-ams be like back in the day when they was at Southwest. So,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
was with getting an interview, securing an interview with one of the, a relevant Memphis player. So,
Yeah.
hey, I was tasked with, Mr. Cole being a great, being a great point for guy. He sat out two individuals like, okay, Josh, we can do a catch-up story with Lester Hudson, or we can do a catch-up story with Alex Lomax. So I was like, hey, obviously, I think y'all know what name I chose. But I froze up, man. I froze up at the play, dog. It was my first assignment. I was nervous. I was
Yeesh.
like, Mike, what's up?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what's he like? And we was friends. We was friends. He chopped up with me. He was like, just go over there. You cool. So I took like legit, y'all like three steps, and I was like, because they was warming up too, and I was like, this is I was first day out. I froze up, man. I froze up, man. So yeah, we might got to witness that
Yeah.
firsthand,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely rooted, and hopefully he
But you
saw.
still got the interview though. You
Come on,
still
man.
got it.
Come on,
Come on
man.
now.
He
You
saw
made it
me,
Wrote a good
happen.
article, too,
You
bro.
hear me?
I remember
Yeah.
reading that one.
Facts, facts,
but
facts.
nah.
A delay is not a delay, brother. You hear me?
Come on, man. But hey, even just as we linked up, like being fans of yours, and I told you how crucial you are with how active you are on Twitter, keeping us posted. Me thousands of miles away, and to get in there with you with the SJI link up and just being in the newsroom with you. Just I
Mhm.
appreciate you, bro, for just taking me up under your wing, showing me the ropes, and as you know, everybody it ain't always love in the industry. So I really appreciated that, man, for sure.
Nah, for sure, man. I enjoy having a Memphian back at the crib, with us. That was dope. Being able to work with somebody else from the city, that was dope. It's a great feeling for me. Like I love being at the crib, being able to do work here, and then we had you in the city, so that was dope. Man. I enjoyed it for sure.
Nah,
We had extra Memphis vibes in the
nah,
sports room going on for sure.
giving Jason Munz and Jonah Dillon hell. Shout out to home. Shout out to home.
Yeah.
Like you said, D Mike, we got a Memphis centric episode. We try to we touch all aspects of the sports world usually, but
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah,
we do here just what the time of the sports calendar it is. We had to do
yeah.
it for our Memphis folks.
Let's
So
do
D
it.
Mike, like I said, what's their record? What 9-7?
Nine
They
and seven.
slightly a few more games than the rest of the league, but we're with the Emirates Cup coming up, we're at that 1/4 mark. There's enough games on tape essentially to form some form of opinion about not just the Grizzlies, but all 30 NBA teams. So I
Yeah,
will give you this a two-parter to start off. A
yep.
1 to 10, all encompassing injuries, results on the court, all that. How would you rate the Grizzlies season 1 through 10? And do you feel like they either overperform or underperform expectations to this point?
Man, I give the season a solid 8, and the reason I say 8 because uh for one, it ain't last year. Last year they were terrible, right? 27 wins, 27 and 55 record. Everybody you can think of was hurt. Jaren Jackson Jr. was the only one, that played a lot of games, but Ja, Dez, Steven Adams got hurt beginning of the season and was out for the season at that point. Every other relevant bench player, Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart, like long list, but they all were hurt. So this year my big question at the beginning of the season was, can this team still be good if something happened to John Morant? Not long term, but if John Morant like gets sick and miss one game or something, like would they be decent? Because even before like the injuries got real bad, like they had some injuries at the beginning of the season, but it wasn't as bad as it was at the end. They were bad then, and they were bad pretty much because they didn't have Ja. So the fact that this season they started off the season, Jalen missed, he's missed his share of games, and they're 9 and 7. So all that considered, I think it's a solid 8. I don't go higher than that because at the end of the day, uh, the one thing that stood out to me is the schedule hasn't been really difficult yet. So when the schedule get a little bit tougher, that's when you're gonna need a job. But right now they're doing better than last year, which is a level up. Because last year around this time, they were losing games to the Portland Trail Blazers, to the Utah Jazz, to teams like that. And that ain't happening right now. So that's good.
What do you think is the difference between last year and this year, with them being better without John?
It's new offense, for one, and you had a whole summer to plan, around it. Like, because 2 years ago, you remember it was like a big thing. Like, oh, Tyus Jones was starting at point guard, and the Grizzlies was winning more games. You remember people was trying to make that more than
Plus
it
minus
was.
Demon Tyus
Yeah,
Jones. Sure.
yeah, he was cooking for sure. So, like everybody was trying to make that a thing, but then Tyus left, and then there was never a question no more. Every other point guard behind Ja, even D Rose was solid for a little bit, but we never saw D Rose and Ja really play together
Yeah.
because of all the injuries and stuff like that. So, the main difference is they got a new offense, and that new offense, like everybody. Gets involved. It's not like heavy pick and roll. Like everybody get out the way, let Ja cook, and then the ball gonna be thrown to you. It's not that. It's now, they're cutting a lot, they're moving. So the new offense gets a lot of guys involved. So what that does is you're elevating players like Santi Aldama averaging 12 and 7 right now. You got guys, you know, like just a bunch of different players who's stepping up. I need Luke Kennard. You don't think of Luke Kennard as a passer. Luke Kennard had an 11 assist game earlier this season
I'm not gonna
because of the
lie. Last
like
season, I made a lot of
yeah.
money on Luke Kennard over on assists because he
On
had
the
to run the
assist.
one. He
Yeah, he
had to run the
had
one
to. You
last
remember.
year.
You remember.
He
I
runs.
made
He
some
running
money
back up.
off of
He
that.
running
Yeah.
back up point guard right now with Smartest out. Like
Like,
he
yeah.
he runs the
So
second
like
offense right now.
Yeah.
that's a good point too, Nick, that you just said. Like what happened was last year, a lot of these dudes got put in different positions. So now with this
Mhm.
new offense, like Vince Williams before he got hurt, he was handling the ball a lot more this year. That's because last season he had to play the one, like you said with Luke Kennard. Before
Yeah.
that, when Luke Kennard was his first year in Memphis, he was just standing, catch, shoot,
Shoot.
stand, catch, shoot. All of a sudden, Ja hurt, Rose hurt, this dude hurt, that. Luke Kennard, you point guard now. John Contra, all these different dudes that don't play point guard are playing point guard. So now you got a lot of dudes comfortable with handling the ball. So this new offense, the goal is the ball not sticking in one person's hands. We're not dependent on one person to get the whole offense going. It's constant movement, constant motion. So it's kind of like think like those old like San Antonio Spurs teams where you didn't have one dude on the team who was averaging like 28, 29 points. It's just a
Yeah.
bunch of solid, really good scores, good role players, and things like that.
No, 16 Hawks vibes for sure. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, something like that. But with a
Yeah.
with a job when he healthy now, so it's gonna be a level up. But yeah, 16 Hawks vibe like with the team basketball for sure.
So, kind of talking about them 16 Hawks, that was a team that saw four All-Stars, that
Yep.
had four All-Stars. So kind of looking at this Grizzlies team and all this talent, I know we only, like we said, a quarter of the way into the season, but who would your ideal starting five be out of what we've seen so far with just all of these guys who can play all of these different roles?
Man, look, um, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, but I don't care. Whatever.
Speak your truth.
I'm gonna say, Ja is at the one for me. Now you said
Yeah.
if everybody's healthy or what?
Yeah,
What was
everybody
Yeah.
healthy for sure.
Ideal world for
All
sure.
right, all right, for sure, for sure, for sure. Ja at the one, Dez at the two, Jaren Jackson Jr. at the four. I'm gonna do Zach Edey at the five. I think Big Zach should be starting at the five when it's all said and done. The one question mark in there is the three, and that's where everybody get all ruffled up about. You got Jake LaRavia kind of breaking out right now. He been real solid. You got Vince Williams Jr. You got GG Jackson. Everybody loved the young bull, GG Jackson.
Yeah.
19 just came onto the scene. You got Marcus Smart, the veteran. Steady, former defense player of the year. So
Washed up, but yeah.
them the four options that come to mind for me. But I'm gonna go with Vince Williams, and this is why. This is why though. You gotta hear me out. With Vince Williams, one you got a real dog. That's a real perimeter defender. Like he's gonna guard the point guard if that's the top scorer. If you playing the Suns, he's gonna say you want me to get KD or you want me to get Book. I get either one of them. He guarded Book. I mean, he guarded KD good last year. Like KD gave him some props after one of the games we had. Luca gave him some props after one of the games against the Mavs. So he 2.5 years in really, and he's gotten the respect of like some of the best scorers in the league. So you probably say, okay, Marcus Smart, that's a great defender too. But the difference, Vince Williams has been a plus shooter his entire basketball like professional and even in college when he was at VCU, real good shooter. When he played in the G League his rookie year, real good shooter. Last season with the Grizzlies in the I think he played like 50 games. He was a real good shooter then. Right now he's out. You know, Vince Williams is out for the next probably going to be about 6 weeks. So he ain't going to be back till like we talk probably like MLK Day, somewhere around there in January. But my ideal starting five with him being healthy, with him being whole, because he understands the dirty work. That's a dude. He gonna say, Ja, Dez, Jaren, go get y'all 20. If I score 15 this night, I'm cool. I score 5 the next night, I don't care. Like it doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna go grab these boards. I'm gonna go guard these dudes. You know who his favorite player to watch was? Patrick Beverly. Like he ain't trying to be like these
Yeah,
other.
big Black
Yeah,
Force
sicko.
energy. Sure.
I was like, he a real Black Force type dude. Like that's what they need though. You need that
Hey.
because you got Ja, you got Dez. They gonna do all the the flashy stuff. They gonna score. Jaren gonna score. You need somebody that's gonna do the dirty work. That tough dude. Like he's Dylan Brooks and Marcus Smart to me with shooting. And that was the problem with Dylan Brooks. Like nobody, you didn't hear nobody complaining about Dylan Brooks' defense. Everybody was just talking about the scoring, the shooting. Same thing with Marcus Smart. It's like Marcus Smart, former defense player of the year. He gonna get you the steals. He gonna do all that, but he gonna miss a bunch of shots. Like with Vince Williams, he gonna knock the tray down. So that's when he healthy. Now, right now, since he's out, I say Marcus Smart. I start Marcus, and you deal with that. But when Vince Williams is healthy, they ain't gonna bring him right back into the starting lineup. I say like March after you get like a big sample size. He done played, got his win and all that. Vince Williams to me is the best option to start on the team right now.
Yeah, let me throw one at you real quick because the Grizzlies
Okay.
actually threw this lineup out there, and I was skeptical at first, but when I saw it on the court, it looked fantastic. That same five you had, but instead of Vince at the three, Santi at the three. That's my
Oh,
preferred start lineup, but I want to see how you feel about that. I want to see how
let's
you
talk
feel
about it.
about
Let's
that.
talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because look, what if I say I love it, but the only difference between that lineup and my lineup is that person at the three, that has to be in the Grizzlies case, they got to be your best perimeter defender.
Mm.
So you can't put Santi at the three with Ja and Dez because Santi is not going to guard De'Aaron Fox when you play the Kings, or
Yeah.
you don't want that to happen. When you play the Kings and you got Vince Williams or Marcus Smart there, they guard De'Aaron Fox. We got Fox. That's how that's going to work. Jaren going to get DeRozan. That's how they're going to do that. But you can't do that when Santi is at the three. Now, you mentioned Santi playing the three earlier this year. The reason that it worked, if you notice, it was when Desmond Bane was not in the lineup. The
Yeah.
reason that
Time
worked
to go get them shots up for sure.
because Jalen Wells, the Rook, is a solid defender. So when they played the Sixers that first time, when they played the Bucks, he guarded Dame, he guarded Tyrese Maxey. Even when they played the Lakers in the game that Santi started in that game. When they played the Lakers on ESPN in that game, Jalen Wells was the one that was guarding LeBron. Santi guarded Rui Hachimura. So basically, it works if like here's what I would say to you to counter that. I would say, okay, you like their offense, you like them on offense. I like them on offense, but on defense, you will have to be okay with saying, okay, Desmond Bane, you go guard De'Aaron Fox then, because you ain't finna put Ja on him. So
Yeah,
you're gonna say, all right, you go guard Desmond Bane, go guard De'Aaron Fox. If you cool with that, then throw Santi at the three. I ain't cool with that.
I
I'm
ain't
cool
cool.
with putting Vince Williams.
Hey,
So
them arms ain't contesting them jumpers, bro.
so that's the difference. Like that's the only difference when it comes to that. Like Santi at the three works when you get when one of the other, like the point guard or shooting guard, is more of a defender. So you can throw them on whoever that top perimeter scorer is, and then Santi can guard one of the other dudes.
I think I noticed that, Damichael, because
Yeah.
we got some things we want to talk about with our boy TJ in a minute. But I do
Yeah,
notice
yeah.
a lot of Scotty is paired a lot with Santi, obviously both in the second string. But
Santi gonna play D, yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
Scotty gonna play D, yeah.
so that's what we got you on here for, to confirm some of these things that we eyes that they tell us. I'll go into this one, Nick. Kind of going off the Santi, Vince, the Jalen Wells thing. Whether part necessity, but part just organizational structure. The Grizz have. We're going back for 3 years now. If you want to talk, even
Yeah,
further,
yeah, yeah.
Dez, pick 30. We would have to say if we're not the best, one of the best in the league at developing,
Yeah,
this talent, off all the rundown we got,
yeah.
7 guys that look like NBA rotation players that are either second rounders or were undrafted guys. You got Edie,
Yeah.
Jalen Wells, J Huff, Gigi Vince, and then like I said, you can throw D Bane in
Bro,
there with
you just said
30.
Edie, bro. He was like, we got him 9.
Did I say Edie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did say
yeah,
that,
you
man.
got
My
you
bad.
got throw yeah.
Come on, bro. I told you I'm Bill Cartwright. Come on, D Mike. So obviously necessity wise, it's been a thing where they've had to. But
Yeah,
why
yeah.
why is Memphis so good at first of all identifying in the draft because all 30
Uh-huh.
teams select these guys, but why are they able to identify these guys that can fit the system and then develop them in a way that where these guys may have never seen minutes on another team, but they're starting or getting 18 to 20 minutes for us?
All right, so we gotta add some context in here too, because you're right with the guys that you mentioned, especially the second rounders. We're gonna talk about how successful they've been with them. But the truth is, they've been missing on first rounders lately.
Facts. Jake LaRavia.
Like David Roddy is not here no more. Jake LaRavia, like you said, like I think Jake LaRavia is playing good now. But the thing is, what you just said, when it comes to Jake LaRavia, they declined his option at the beginning of the year. If you're a first round pick, you don't get that. Like
Facts.
that's a telltale, like how they feel about you. If they pick up their option, that means, oh yeah, it's a lot of trust there. But when they decline their option, even though, people have told me that the Grizzlies want to bring him back, and I do believe that they want to because he's playing good right now. Like he really making them regret it. Like he playing like a glue guy. He's not the player. I think when they drafted him, a lot of people thought he was gonna be like this lights out shooter. He was gonna be like a good 3-and-D player, and now he more like a kind of a do it all. You look at his stats. A lot of times he having like 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, a block. Like just filling the stat sheet up, doing the little stuff. It's never like 28 points and 7 assists or anything like that. It's just doing the small, simple stuff. But he a real like connective type player with them. So with all that being said, with the stuff about the first round picks that they kind of been mediocre at, the reason that they're so good in the second round because you get to double up and you get to take risks. Like with Gigi Jackson in that draft, I don't even think they had a first round pick. That was the year they traded for Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
So they traded their first round pick. They didn't even need the second round pick, really. So with the second, they had 2 second round picks. The other guy stashed overseas. He's supposed to be really good too, but that's another conversation. So they had 2 second round picks. One of them they stashed the guy overseas, and then the other one they was like, man, we ain't got nothing to lose. Like, ain't no point in drafting someone who had big college production, but
Oh,
if they
ceiling type of guy for sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you drafting somebody with big college production that late in the draft, they probably got some type of real limitations, whether it's height, whether it's he can't jump. That's the part where you get like those college point guards who were 6'1" and not really gonna be NBA dudes.
That'll be the Mark
Cassius
Sears
Winston.
here for sure.
Yeah, Cassius Winston, them type dudes, like college
Yeah.
all-stars. So them the dudes you get late in the second round. But the other type of dudes you get is them high upsides, the ones that was like McDonald's All-Americans, but they went to this school, it just didn't work out. That was Gigi. Gigi was the number one prospect in his class. He reclassified. He was 17 years old his freshman year of college. And it went, it didn't go good. But he was 17. So, like, the way college basketball is now, you got 23, 24. Like, Hunter Dickinson is what, 23, 24 right now? Like, Gigi was going against dudes like that. So, he's 17. Like, this dude's supposed to be going to prom. So, the Grizzlies looked at it like, we know what this is the number one ranked player in high school for his class. So, they drafted Gigi. No expectations his rookie year. Like, it's just, we're going to throw him in the G League. We're going to develop him. Man, Gigi down there cooking dudes in the G League. Like, cooking dudes in this. People going down on the Grizzlies. This guy get hurt. That guy hurt. This guy get hurt. Opportunity presented itself. So that was like a situation where you threw a rock in the ocean and boom, you landed a high upside. So they hit when they drafted a high upside guy like that. And then with Vince Williams, it was more like he was this 3-and-D guy, but he wasn't supposed to, like the thing in college was that supposedly he wasn't like he couldn't dribble like that and things like that. You come to Memphis, like we just said, all these dudes get injured. Hey Vince, you playing point guard. What? Next thing you know, he good at it. Same thing with Dez though. If you go back to
Right.
Dez draft
Yeah.
profile, Dez was supposed to be this 3-and-D dude. If you go to his rookie year with the Grizzlies, it's straight catch, shoot, barely.
Yeah.
Now you watch Dez last year, 25, 5-5, like 5 assists a game. Like he
Yeah.
coming off the pick and roll, diamond dudes, things like that. And that's because same thing. Grizzlies went to summer league after Dez first year, his second year. They sent them to summer league. They said, "Hey, Dez, you playing point guard?"
Run the one.
Facts.
Dez point guard? What? Two. Man, Dez went down there. He played, I think, 2 summer league games. That's like, all right, we don't need to see no more. You don't need to get hurt out here. We don't need to see no more. And now Dez is, like he wanted the top guards, like a top 10 shooting guard to me. So I think that's part of it. Like the way they develop these dudes is they try to make them, more versatile players, with like Vince Williams and Dez, them good examples of that. But in the case of Gigi, like that draft, the roster was so full. They didn't even have roster spots. That's why the other guys stashed overseas right now. So they just was like, well, let's just, we ain't got nothing to lose. Like if it don't work out. But at that point, any team in the Grizzlies roster situation would have took a chance, on Gigi because that's a former #1 recruit. Like you just don't lose that, in 1 year.
Thanks. And kind of building off of that, losing Darko Rajakovic, I'm sorry if I
Yeah.
butchered his last name, to Toronto. I've
Man, I
heard a
used
lot
to
of
do it too.
guys. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of guys, credit their success to the work that they put in with him.
Facts.
So do
Mhm.
you see, just how do you see this whole situation playing out with him leaving and these new young guys coming in? Do you think our development will take a step back in terms of young guys, or just how big of a piece do you think Darko was to building these guys up?
Yeah, so he was a big piece, and Desmond Bain. That's option one. Like that was the main when he went to summer league that year that I'm talking about. That was the summer league head coach,
Yeah.
Darko. I think it's Rajakovic. So Darko was the head summer league coach that year. They worked close together and all that. But the difference is with Taylor Jenkins. That's one of the things he emphasizes the most is developing the players. So when Darko left last year, they had the season that happened last year. It was terrible. He wasn't there. He was already in Toronto. His first year
Yeah.
in Toronto was last year. That whole assistant staff from last year is pretty much gone. They did almost like wholesale swap, like everybody got a role, except 2 dudes. Only 2 dudes stayed. One on Patrick St. Andrews. It was his first year on staff. He had came from the Milwaukee Bucks, and the other one was Anthony Carter. AC, he used to play in the NBA, played with the Nuggets. He played with I think Melo and AI them on the Nuggets. Anthony Carter, and the reason Anthony Carter stayed, if you noticed Gigi Jackson last year, everybody done watched Gigi Jackson like coming up. Like he was one of them dudes with the good YouTube highlights and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch Gigi stuff, he was never like a great shooter. He was just a scorer. He had the dribble moves. He had all the stuff. But he was never like just a great 3-point shooter. Even at South Carolina, it's terrible. Like very mediocre 3-point shooter. He get to the league, he knocking down trades every game, and we like, where this come from? He like,
Yeah.
man, AC Anthony Carter. He taught me how to shoot with more arc. Like it was something that he added to his jumper. But the point that I'm making is Anthony Carter is one of the guys helping them with development. It's plenty players like they credit him. Even Zaire Williams isn't in Memphis no more. He with Brooklyn, so he got a little opportunity there. He was like, man, Anthony Carter is the dude. I give a lot of credit to for helping develop me. So Darko is out, but they're finding these new coaches that can help develop these dudes. And Anthony Carter, that's kind of like the main guy that I've been hearing about.
A lot of people high on the guy Thomas too as well. Like I said,
Oh yeah. He get credit for that offense, like that new offensive system. Yeah.
I mean, since we like talking about the coaching staff, I'm sure you seen on social media a lot of criticism for TJ. What are your thoughts on Taylor Jenkins?
Man, they gonna get mad at this one too, but I don't got no big problems with Taylor. Like I think people be emotional when they say, "Oh, get Taylor out of here." Like that's emotional talk because he made a bad decision here, bad decision there. I'm a big picture person, and I try to think with logic, bro. I don't try to think with emotion. Now, I get it. As a fan, my boy Josh over there, he had his moments too when he get a little emotional and you start saying some stuff. Like I done
Shout
had my
out JQ. Yes, sir. Jelly
Yeah.
Fam. Come on now.
Shout out Jelly Fam, man. Shout out Jelly Fam. But shout out Jelly fan. But no, for real, like, so the thing about Taylor Jenkins is I feel like as a head coach, you always got to have an identity. If your coach got an identity, then that's a starting point. Taylor
Yeah.
Jenkins got an identity. Every year going into the season, you can pencil in the Grizzlies. You know they're gonna be top 3 in paint scoring. Right now they lead the NBA. That's a given. They're gonna get to the cup and they're gonna score a lot. You know they're gonna be one of the best transition scoring teams. Same thing. That's where they at right now. They one of the fastest playing teams in the NBA. They're gonna get out in transition. They got John Morant. They got Dez. Them dudes get up and down. That's Taylor Jenkins style. They're gonna be one of the best rebounding teams in the league, especially offensive rebounding, because they had Jonas Valanciunas, Steven Adams. Now they got Zach Edey, top 5 offensive rebounding percentage when he was healthy. So they gonna be in the conversation for all these type of stats. Now, what I don't like about Taylor Jenkins is, a lot of people question the rotation stuff. It's too early for me to get deep into that. Like it's only, it's early in the season. They playing this new offensive system where they playing faster. They the second fastest playing team in the league right now. So, you got guys playing 30 minutes. I ain't tripping right now. Now we get to March and you got Ja playing 30 minutes while you going against De'Aaron Fox and he playing 39 on the other side, then we're gonna have something to talk about. But right now, guys still getting the legs under them. Ja, again, he in and out the lineup. Jaren came off a hamstring injury. Dez been in and out the lineup. Marcus Smart been sick and he about to come back. Like, so with all that, like, of course you got to build these guys up. So I'm not tripping most off of that. What I don't like when it comes to Taylor Jenkins is the offense when it comes to the playoffs. And you watch the Grizzlies, every time they get to the playoffs, the offense looks bad. The last game against the Lakers, game 6 against the Lakers, 40-point loss. I think the score was 125-85. I was there. I was in LA for that game. It was nasty. It was nasty, man. It was over quick. And
Vance
like
a Laker fan,
125.
by the way. Just so you know, if you didn't know.
No, it was just funny for a minute when they was making
That's
fun
why
of
he
Ja
laughing. That's
on the
why he
street, bro.
laughing.
Ja was on the street partying with the Lakers.
Oh, yeah. I remember that when he was leaving out the arena. Yep. I was over there. It's like, boom. Like, that's one example. Then you go back the year before that when they played Golden State, second round. If you remember, they didn't crack 100 in game 6 of that game either. Like, and even when they beat the Timberwolves in the series before that, it was a young Ant. I think D'Lo Russell was still over there. It was Karl Anthony Towns, Jared Vanderbilt was over there, then Patrick Beverly. Like, that was a solid squad. And they beat the Timberwolves. It was mostly ugly basketball. Like, the offense, what I'm saying is the offense that they play in the regular season has never been able to translate to the same way in the playoffs. And that's a problem because, it kind of makes it seem like he a coach that don't rise. Like Eric Spoelstra can cruise through the regular season. When playoffs get there, he's going to pull some stuff out the hat and he can turn an 8 seed, to a contender in the playoffs. Like, so you don't get those vibes with Taylor. So I do think, like, if this season goes like that, because the book is out right now, like, that's what everybody is starting to think. Like, regular season, the Grizzlies got a nice offensive system. Like, right now, they top 5 in defensive efficiency, top 10 in offensive efficiency. Like, they solid all across the board. But when you get to the playoffs and you tell me, if I'm telling y'all right now, and if it play out like this, where, the defense is going to be solid, and then you get to the playoffs, they lose a game 96-88. Man, it's like they didn't have them type of games in the regular season. People really gonna start, saying like he can't lead us all the way because he can't turn the offense into a real championship level offense. But like I said, that's my downside. Everything, like, he got good things about it. It's certain coaches in this league, you don't know what they bring to the table. Like you just like, at least with Taylor Jenkins, man, I can say it going into every season. They're gonna be top 5 scoring in the paint. They're gonna be top 5 scoring in transition. Like, they got an identity. This ain't a team that's just out there hooping and whatever happens.
Yeah.
And and TJ gonna dance with Ja. So come on now.
Yeah,
We got
He gonna turn up a little bit.
People say, offense don't carry over into the postseason. And for the Grizzlies, that's the case to your point. But specifically, it's that half court offense. Like when the game slows down, you can't get into transition as much. You gotta really, you know what I'm saying, play that half court style. So coming into this year, do you think this new offense will help with that? Or what do you think the Grizzlies need to do to really address the struggles they've had in the half court? Because even in the regular season, I see it when it gets to the fourth quarter.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it a book with y'all. I'm actually writing about that. Like, I'm writing something about that, like, real soon. And this the thing. I don't know the answer to that question. And my opinion is they don't even know the answer to that question. Because when we talk to them, like it's always about, oh, it's about pace. We got to get out and run. We got to get out and run. So that brings the question, like, okay, what if you play against a team that's trying to slow the game down? Then
Exactly.
what do you
Dallas and
do?
Luca. We don't got to put Dallas and Luca. Let's
But
put a name on it.
And you're not gonna
but
get
the
them
Grizzlies,
turnovers either.
but the Grizzlies' mindset is we just got to make them miss because no matter how slow you play, if we grabbing a missed rebound, we gone and we gonna get out into our pace. So you gonna play some real good offense. They're gonna make a bunch of shots and they gonna challenge you. Take the ball out the net. Now you got to slow it down. They're gonna be back on defense and you got to play in a half court setting. I still don't trust the half court offense. So to like my prediction at this point is still the same. Like I feel like they're gonna be solid in the regular season. Depending on who they match up against in the first round, they probably can slither through that. But when you get to the second round, you can be exposed. Because at that point it ain't nothing but, especially in the Western Conference, it's 4 teams left. It ain't gonna be nothing but dogs left.
Yeah.
So that's a problem for them. I think that's like my one thing. Like you say, what'll keep the Grizzlies from winning a championship or being a championship team right now? Half court offense. That's and part of the half court offense issue is shooting. So going back to what we were just talking about, why I would put Vince Williams in the starting lineup. Let's say you put Marcus Smart in the starting lineup because that's kind of like that's the veteran, been there, done that, all that good stuff. You throw Marcus Smart in lineup, you got Ja, Dez, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey. Zach Edey been shooting a three-pointer well this year, so we're not gonna disrespect him, but we're gonna say Zach Edey ain't just shooting 5 3-pointers a game.
Right.
So we Xing him out from the three-point line. Jaren is shooting well from three-point line so far this year. You look at Jaren career numbers, below average three-point shooter. So we're gonna talk about the career numbers. Below average three-point shooter, low volume three-point shooter. Then you go to three, Marcus Smart, high volume and below average. Two whammies. Ja Morant, decent volume, below average. You telling me a lineup with one guy that when he get the ball and it's a wide open three, you can say, oh yeah, that's going in. And you ain't doing that if it's Ja, unless he having one of them nights, or Marcus has some nights too. Like they can make trades, like that's why they shoot
Yeah.
them.
Mm.
But you talking about over the course of a series, game one knocking down trades, game two knocking down trades, game three, game six when you facing elimination knocking down trades. Desmond Bane the only one in the starting lineup, and I said it like that because with those five, because when the game is on the line and it's 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter and it's 92-92, you're gonna have to run half court offense because they walking the ball up the court. Everybody just seeking mismatches at that point. They just hunting
Yeah.
guys out. And with the Grizzlies, I don't care. Like this is my whole thing. You can draw the dopest play up. You can draw the prettiest play up in the world. If that play ends up, oh boom, wide open shot for Marcus Smart. That's not a wide open shot for Desmond Bane. It's
It's
levels.
not.
It's a difference. So that's like my critique with them. Like, I feel like that's the one thing, the half court offense and the shooting. They both go hand in hand because I feel like they'll be a better half court team if they had better
Hey,
shooters. But if you put Vince in the lineup, that's another above average 3-point shooter to go with Dez. Now you got two, and you got Ja over here. You got Jaren getting to the cup. So it's levels to it, but it's ways I feel like they can try to work around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at on the whole half court thing.
you talk about it last time we was in the playoffs. All of us saw a guy that previously was a below average shooter, swing the entire series in Rui Hachimura. And like what you're talking about with the personnel that we had, just that shooting to that level, mattering that much in the playoffs, and we simply had no counter for it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
between what you wrote in our eyes, the game plan
Hmm.
was leave this guy open. This is the guy that worked between AD and LeBron. This is the shots we're willing to give up, and he beat us by making those shots.
Facts.
So
Yeah. Facts.
even a guy that's like I said, just that level of jump from shooting, because Rui Hachimura still ain't a 40% guy, but just to
Come on,
be
man.
from a non-factor to a factor, just in that one playoff series, you can see how much space, how crucial spacing is, especially when you get to playoff basketball.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. Like that's facts. It's really that simple. Like when they put, like Luke Kennard. This is another example. Like because then that's another problem. Like a lot of the shooters that they have are like specialists. Like Luke
Yeah.
Kennard, he gonna shoot the tray. But let's go back to when they played your boys, when they played the Lakers. So if you remember, Dylan Brooks could make a shot in that series. Like it was
Not
it
at
was
all.
real.
After trolling LeBron.
After trolling LeBron, yeah, I put that out there.
I was just about to say that was you. That was you, my boy. That was you. There you go.
They said he owed. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, Dylan, I got to put this out there, man. You don't know what you just did, man. You can't do that to LeBron, man. And I just remember that next game, like in the pregame, LeBron walk up to the half court line. He's staring at him. They have a little talk. Then they walk off. They nod. The crowd going crazy. I'm like, man, LeBron about to try to go at this, man. But yeah, like Dylan couldn't make a shot. So the rest of the starting lineup, if I remember, it was Ja, it was Dez, and then it was Jaren and Xavier Tillman Sr. was playing because Steven Adams was hurt and Brandon Clark was hurt at that point. But X was solid. So the other player was Dylan Brooks. And what the Lakers was doing, they kept leaving Dylan Brooks open. And it got to the point I asked Taylor Jenkins, like, why not put Luke Kennard in the lineup? Because Luke Kennard in this series wasn't getting a lot of shots because Dennis Schroeder was all over him. But if you put him in that lineup, they ain't guarding him like they guarding, Dylan Brooks. Like that frees up some space for Ja Dez to get to the rim or do whatever they want to do. Because basically whoever guarding Dylan Brooks is just saying, if Ja drive, I'm gonna help out. If whoever drive, I'm gonna help. If Jaren try to get an easy layup, I'm right behind you to help you out. Like they could get nothing easy because of the person guarding Dylan Brooks was just helping wherever the ball was at. So I asked Taylor, like, why don't you just put Luke Kennard in the lineup? He actually gave a good answer. And it made sense to me, but it was just like, damn, like that's the problem with them. What he said was basically like he didn't say it like this because he a coach, he ain't gonna call his players. I ain't gonna say sorry or nothing like that. Yeah. But he basically was like, you know how LeBron play. LeBron gonna seek out mismatches late in the game. He trying to get the little small guards on him and all that. Like he ain't trying to go at Dylan Brooks one-on-one too quick. Not at this point. So they got Dylan Brooks on them. LeBron just going over there where Ja at. He forcing the switch. So Ja got to switch onto LeBron, or they got a hard hedge where they poke, he poke his arm out there, he try to recover. So they were hedging with Ja. They were not letting Ja. Everything else was switched. That was the game plan. If it's Dez, switch it. If it's Jaren, switch it. If it's Dylan or Xavier Tillman, switch it. Everybody else was switched. Ja was the only one who was hedging on LeBron. So Taylor Jenkins was basically like, we can't have two players in the game that we got to do that with. If Luke Kennard came in the game, they weren't going to switch it. They were going to have to hedge that. So now you got to hedge for him. You got to hedge with Ja. Lakers going to get hella easy shots, off of that defense. So he basically was choosing defense over offense. I would have still chose offense. Like it was just that bad with the way they was guarding Dylan. But that was kind of his strategy behind it. So yeah, they just at the end of the day, you gotta have some better shooters out there. They got some, like Vince Williams can shoot it. Jalen Wells, the rook, like he's shooting well. Those dudes play solid defense. So if you throw them out there, they get a little more seasoning because they both still real young. By the time the playoffs come, like they can be a little team to watch out for.
No, for sure. You kind of led perfectly into it, D Mike, in terms
yeah.
We talked about, previously with some of the personnel, for some of the personnel on the roster, but also DJ. So this one to kind of be an all-encompassing one with what you've seen so far. Obviously, trade deadline, we got some time, but it's like I said, we got enough of a sample size to know, like you said, what this team's identity is positively and negatively. So what does this roster need, whether it's a player acquisition or, kind of what you hinted at, a coach acquisition to compete at a championship level? Do you think Taylor Jenkins is the guy to get us to a championship? And do you think whether it's type of player, where he's talking about shooting and spacing, or a particular guy in the league that this roster could add to get to that next level?
Yeah. Starting with the coaching, I think based off what we've seen so far, like through the Taylor Jenkins era, no. That's just what it is. He's gonna get you to the playoffs. You're gonna be a solid team. You're gonna compete. Teams ain't really gonna sweep you. Like you're gonna compete. Like the Lakers beat you in 6, Golden State beat you in 6. They're gonna throw a competitive squad out there, but it's not gonna be enough. Now, this season, I'm still at the point, like you can tell, I'm not ready to throw it's time for Taylor Jenkins to leave yet, because he deserves, after 2 straight playoff years, like they lost to the Lakers, they lost to Golden State. I feel like the third time it hits you. Like, okay, when it happens one time, that was just a bad matchup, right? We ran to Golden State. That was a bad matchup for us. The Lakers made you look the same exact way. Okay, now we got to switch some things. They tried to switch some things last year. Everybody got hurt. So we didn't get to see it through. So he still deserves the opportunity to see, his system through in the playoffs after you had two bad runs to see if it works. If they go to the playoffs again and we get to game 6 of the series and they got 81 points, 83 points, and I'm like, this look like 2022 against the Lakers. I mean, against the Warriors. This look like 2023 against the Lakers. Man, that's just what it is. He's not gonna get you in. Good coaches can sometimes not get you over the hump. Like, Ime Udoka was great. I
But
mean, not Ime Udoka, Brad Stevens. Like, I feel like Brad Stevens was a great coach. But I feel like Ime would have won if the stuff didn't happen. So I say, like him slash Joe Mazzulla. Like they got the championship, but Brad Stevens set the foundation for that team. Mark Jackson with the Warriors. The Warriors sucked
but
before Mark Jackson. But Mark Jackson made them a 50-win team, made them a playoff team, first round, second round. But guess what? Steve Kerr get there 1 year, boom, championship. So it could be a situation like that, with the coach and that player acquisition. I don't think they need like a superstar or anything. If they could get one, then dope. But you're gonna give up a lot to go get a superstar. But one that's affordable and that makes sense to me is Cam Johnson.
Ooh, Sang gonna
in
love that.
Brooklyn,
Come on
Cam
now.
Johnson in Brooklyn. Sniper. He can guard them like we said. You
facts.
going against De'Aaron Fox, throw him on them. He can take those matchups. And you tell me Ja driving to the rim. He got Cam Johnson on the right, Desmond Bain on the left. Who you helping
Yeah.
off of? Like
It's
you
tough.
you stuck. You just got to go at
Edie
Ja
in the
at the rim.
paint too.
Edie in the paint. You ain't bringing the big up because you bring the
Facts.
big up. Ja just gonna throw it over the top. Edie catch it, dunk. Like
Yeah.
is easy money. So you can't put what you gonna put your weakest guy on Jaren. Jaren gonna kill him. Like he gonna get dominated. So that's the difference. If you get that 3-man that can hoop like that, that can like he is certified shooter, one of the best shooters in the league. That's what they're missing to me. But that's kind of the player that I zero. It's a bunch of different players. Like honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to getting Brandon Ingram. That's like a whole, it's a whole bunch of money movement stuff that'll have to
Yeah.
happen for that to happen and whatnot. But like Brandon Ingram as a player makes sense to me too. But I think Cam Johnson for the price, that's the dude that I feel like you should go get.
So kind of talking about this trade a little bit. I'm a fan of getting Cam Johnson, by the way. I
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
I texted in the group chat. I said Corey Kispert was one of my guys I would like to see us get.
yeah,
Obviously, a
yeah.
little bit lacking on the defensive end, but talking about half court
Uh-huh.
creation. But
Yeah, he can do that. Yeah.
exactly. But regardless, talking about this trade deadline, I'm not gonna ask you who you think we should move.
Yeah.
But because I think we have a lot of young pieces to the point to where it's time to consolidate some of this talent and get a bigger piece, a guy, who can play that 25, 30 minutes a game for us, as opposed to having a 15, a 10, or 12, you get what I'm saying? So who are your
Yeah.
untouchables on this roster right now? And I have an untouchable too, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw it to you once I hear yours, and I want to get your opinion
Yeah.
on it.
Untouchables. Ooh. All right. I am untouchable decor. Ja, Dez, Jaren. Um, I don't think it's a trade. Like I know some people was like, "Oh, I'll trade Jaren if I could get Giannis." I ain't even doing that. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Ja, Dez, Jaren, they're my untouchables.
I ain't trade Zach right now, literally.
Yeah, 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 because of
Yeah,
the,
of
the
course.
the cost and all that. I say Zach is on the list too. Those four. Everybody else for the right price, we can make something shake. Like
Oh,
I don't want to trade Gigi. Like Gigi, 19 years old. It's
Yeah.
so much more room for him to really turn into like a real certified scorer in this league. But if you tell me I can go get a real superstar, and it's like, oh, we just want to center the package around Gigi, let me know what we got to do. So I'm there with him, but he close to like very close to.
Yeah.
It's a very small list. Like I ain't trading him for no Contavious Caldwell Pope or something like that. Like we ain't
I get
talking.
no, no.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it gotta be something real legit. Um, Vince Williams same way. Like if I'm trading Vince Williams, it better be a real good player coming back. But everybody else, yeah, I'm free game.
Damn. See, for me,
Man,
for
That's
me,
crazy.
for me,
Yeah,
Jitty untouchable, bruh. Jitty is an untouchable to me. You talked about the shit Jake LaRavia can do in terms of filling up the box score. Every time the Grizzlies go through injuries, who the guy that step
Yeah,
up and get you
they
10,
they need
5?
John Contra. They
That's what
need
I'm
Jitty.
saying. Nike didn't
They
just
need.
sign him to an extension for nothing. That's all I'm gonna say.
You know he was on the block last year.
Oh no,
He, he was.
bro.
Now they ended up trading Xavier Tillman. But I remember like there was some rumors around that time that Boston was interested in him too. Like they was interested in John Conchar. Where you see he's still with the Grizzlies.
Yeah,
So I don't know like what happened to lead it to go one way or another. But John Conchar had some interest from over there too. But yeah, like um Giddy solid. But look, this is my thing. This is why Giddy expendable. I'm gonna say why he expendable. Because to me, what we seeing right now, you ain't gonna like this because I know you was talking about Jake earlier. Jake LaRavia like a better version of him. Everything that Giddy do, Jake LaRavia just do a
Giddy,
little
that's
bit.
crazy.
He do a little bit better because he can shoot. Jake
he
LaRavia got a little
can.
step back in his game. He a scorer. He can
Now,
score.
now,
Yeah. It's year three. He had to get a little, get some reps under his belt. So he can do
Yeah,
the stuff that Giddy do, all the dirty work stuff, but he do it a little bit better. Like Giddy ain't about to come in the game and take a lot of threes. Like you said, he just solid. He gonna go crash. He gonna get offensive boards. Jake LaRavia doing that. Jake LaRavia, you look at his stat sheets. It was one point earlier this season when a lot of those wings was missing. Again, he had 3 games in a row with at least 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. All the respect for Giddy, but he not doing that. Like
That's
that's
fair.
a Jake. That's Jake LaRavia, kind of becoming this new player.
And
hey,
I guess to kind of speak to my dislike of Jake LaRavia,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if it's more of a result of him having a longer leash from Taylor Jenkins, especially early in the season, or
hmm
accumulation of the past 3 years
yeah,
or 2 years I've seen of Jake LaRavia. But my big
yeah,
thing with Jake LaRavia is, and I tweeted this out, he's a basketball player, not a hooper. And I feel like
yeah.
too often Taylor Jenkins puts the ball in his hands and tell him, "Hey Jake, go get a bucket. Hey Jake, make a decision with the
Yeah.
ball in his hands." And a lot of times that doesn't end out very well just from me watching the game. Now, of course, you brought up the numbers and all of that, and that's cool. But just from a optical perspective, I just do not like what I see from Jake
we got
LaRavia
to
on
get
the
another
court,
move beside his
especially
detail,
in
man.
terms of decision making.
Go
He
look.
got
Hey,
to. You got to get
hey.
another move, man. He been spamming that decel. I like he been working
Yeah, I
on his
know.
shot creating, but hey, man, they know you're gonna decel. They know you get that €1 and hit that decel tonight. You got to change it up, Jake. Come on now.
Top.
Get
He
the
in the
game up,
top 20 in the league right now in deflections. Jake LaRavia. So he getting after it on defense. Top 20 in the league in deflections, like though. And then plus minus. Go look at the plus minus numbers. That's a John Conchar. That's a Jitty stat.
It
That
is.
plus
Versus
minus.
y'all got Dyson Daniels. We got Jake
Hey,
LaRavia.
real talk, real talk. He on that type of timing right now, for real.
Yeah, you're not helping us whatsoever in our anti-Jake propaganda and rhetoric, Damichael. But I guess
No, no,
guess
bro,
what
he
we got
hooping.
going here for to tell the truth. God forbid we had you doing that. I'm gonna swing it to the corner, Vance. You've been real quiet, man. Anything that you want to get out to D Mike for we, get closer to the end of year stuff and wrap up and stuff like that.
So just we get to playoff time.
Yeah.
Play in is a must win. What do you think the rotation will look like if it's just everybody's healthy? What's the rotation look like?
Ooh. Okay. All right, all right. Let me ask you something back. You talking about with Taylor Jenkins rotation or my rotation? It's
I
a
mean,
difference.
bro, ooh, Taylor Jenkins, because that's what
Taylor,
we gonna
because
see,
I got
bro.
an
That's
idea
what we
of
gonna
what. Okay,
see.
bet. Okay, bet. So what I think Taylor Jenkins rotation would be, we get to late March, early April, whatever the case. It's gonna be the starting lineup. It's gonna be Ja, Dez, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson Jr. And I think Zach Edey will be starting like by that point. And he's gonna be starting Zach Edey. And then the bench. Oh, it get rough right here, man. Because Jalen Wells is hooping. I don't want to leave him out. But
Yeah,
okay, it's gonna be Luke Kennard. Need his floor space and that's a vet. Luke Kennard, Vince Williams, Santi Aldama, Brandon Clark is 9. And I think that's your 9. So you got Scottie Pippen, Jake LaRavia, G.G. Jackson.
Hey,
I mean,
Santi.
they're a deep team. I got Santi in there. Santi in the 9. Santi, Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard, and Santi, Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard, Vince Williams. That's the 4 I got off the bench. This Taylor Jenkins. Now he might go 10, and if he go 10, I think you probably throw Scotty in there or
Not
GG.
Gigi.
I mean, GG's in mind, but when you get late into the season, three guys like between Ja, Dez, and Jaren, two of them gonna be on the floor a lot of times. And what
Yeah.
they like to do now, matter of fact, what they like to do is Dez and Jaren gonna play together when Ja come out of the game, and
Yeah.
then when those two go out, Ja gonna be in the game, but he gonna be in with most of the bench because all those dudes that we just named coming off the bench are shooters. So you bringing Ja in, you're gonna have Luke Kennard over there. You're gonna have Zach Edey in the paint because how him and Zach cook together. You got Luke Kennard, you're gonna have Vince Williams, you're gonna have Santi. Luke, Vince, Santi, three shooters. John Morant driving to the cup. So that's how they try to mix and match. And then when you take out Ja, you're gonna throw Jaren and Dez in there. Now you got two guys who can still score because you losing scoring and
Yeah.
facilitating when Ja lead. So I think that's the nine because if you put Gigi Jackson in there, that's another scorer. And when Ja playing with those shooters, you don't really need another scorer. But this is Taylor Jenkins. Like I think Taylor Jenkins rather have those dudes. He trusts them. Uh, that's kind of my thoughts on that. But I mean,
I'll be satisfied with any rotation as long as two of the big three is in the game at all times.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta keep the big dogs in there. Yeah.
We got to get the Damichael Cole 9-man playoff rotation now. Come on now.
You want mine? I bet. Ooh, for one, I probably play 10. But all right, I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna say Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Vince Williams in my starting lineup. And then I'm going Jaren and I'm going Zach Edey. That's my starting five. With my second unit, I'm going Marcus Smart as backup, backup point guard or whatever. I'm going Luke Kennard right now. And then with Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard, I'm going Gigi Jackson and Santi Aldama.
No BC. Ooh.
Hey,
No BC.
he making the right decision. You don't act like he's
I'm
not making the
going.
right decision.
I'm
I
going.
mean,
I need Gigi scoring the hooping. I need stat in the playoffs when you
Exactly.
know you need them that's the best team. Look at the Celtics. All they did was spread the floor and just let dudes cook.
Five out.
Like
man.
like because in
And
playoffs you ain't running all them cute plays like everybody know everybody plays at that point. It's just I'm better than you and I'm gonna show you. Like
No,
so.
you a funny guy because you just going hard for Jake LaRavia and didn't put him in your
Bro,
line.
no, 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 no. Look. Let me keep it. You facts. Them facts. I'm telling you. Because look,
hey,
that's the one question, like between Jake and Luke Kennard. Like, I'm on the fence, but you need that shooting. Like, Jake is like, at the end of the day, if you just look at the way, and I don't even really want to say this, but you making me say it because I got to defend my guy. Like, at the end of the day, you look at the Grizzlies roster, the whole roster ain't been healthy at one point. So like Jake Laravia probably gonna end up being in there. Unless like they have magical good health like that. So like yeah, like I do think, push comes to shove, like those are good backups. Like if Vince Williams, like he out 4 to 6 weeks right now. Like if he be out for longer than that and whatever the case may be, he might end up needing surgery, then you solid. Like right now, I'll just say right now, while Vince is out, they're solid because Jake LaRavia is not a big drop off to me. Like he good enough. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like they got good depth. So when you got good depth, it's gonna be some good players that get left out.
like Tyler Perry I had back in the day with the original U of M. Like it's always a good problem to have too many talented guys on the
Yeah,
floor.
when you got too many, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, as
Hey,
opposed to having a Dixie Queen,
Yeah,
drive-through
you
worker
just
running the one.
man, and you trying to play job 41 minutes because you need them out there every single minute. Nah, yeah, they're solid. They solid. They got good depth.
so with the stuff that you threw out there with TJ and some of injury history, but some of the depth that we have, do you think that the record they have right now at 9-7 reflects their talent, and do you think that the end of the season, regular season record, will reflect the talent that's on this team?
Yeah, the end of the regular season when I think so. Right now it just reflects their depth. Like to go 9-7 with no, Ja for a lot of games, no Dez for a decent amount of games, and no Jaren at the beginning of the season. Like that's just a depth thing. That's showing, yeah, Santi can hoop. That's showing that Scottie Pippen is solid. That's showing that Jalen Wells, the rook, who been starting while Dez been out, is showing like he gonna be one of the rookies at All Star Weekend, and he was a second round pick. So that's really what that's showing. Like that's showing the depth. But yeah, I think when you get the full season, sample size, you're gonna start to see some teams separate. Like right now, it's some teams starting off hot, Warriors. Eventually, they gonna cool off a little bit, but that's where it is right now.
Yeah, step out there with a Bahamian splash, brother. They don't even look right.
Mm.
Doesn't
Hey,
doesn't look doesn't, don't
but
look right at all.
but speaking about the Warriors though,
Yeah, yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to
yeah,
I want to hit on this real quick.
yeah.
Draymond said we were too emotional in the playoffs. Like, what was that
That's
all
tough.
about?
All right, look, this is what I'm gonna say. This one, I think, honestly, I think Draymond, that was one of those situations. You know how like you get into it with somebody and then like it's somebody that you was real cool with, and then they say some stuff, you be like, oh, okay, tell me how you really feel. Like you been feeling like that? Like, okay, like I feel like Draymond, if he wanted to, if he been thought that about the Grizzlies, if he been thought that about Taylor Jenkins, as much as he talk on the podcast, as much as he talk in general, Draymond could have been said that.
As much as they played, you know what I'm saying?
As much as they play, and much as
Yeah,
times as they've been into it, like he could have been said that. He you see how he did Dylan Brooks. He ran right through that man. He told him the dynasty starts after you. Like
oh
that was a
God,
bar. Like that was a bar. Like
it was.
but I feel like that was just one of them things. Like he was just saying, trying to, like, cause he never really talked about Taylor Jenkins before. I didn't know he felt like that about Taylor Jenkins to then because every time we heard him talking about the Grizzlies, it was mostly about Dylan Brooks. Oh yeah, the rest of them he always like, oh yeah, I like them. They talk a little trash, they do this.
Yeah.
So that caught me off guard. I feel like that was just, when Taylor Jenkins said what he said, it hurt him a little bit. He's like, man, I ain't never really liked you anyway. That's what that was to me.
Nah,
Yeah.
hey, well, like you said, hurt dogs hollering in the sense like Draymond
Oh
knows,
yeah, dog, yeah.
especially with that, and he knows his reputation, but he also knows that, hey, more than likely, the goal of the two teams that we're discussing, they're right around the same place. Obviously
Come
one
on
got
now.
better, less sustainable start than the other, but
Yeah,
everybody, we're gunning for the same thing, and it's not like we're the kings out here. But for me personally, being in the news with you, and then with seeing your Twitter this season, you've been a big proponent of Jaren's development into like an elite scorer, like a mainstay. Also, got a payday coming up soon. He's already has re-ups before, so this will be his second contract that'll be
yeah.
in, I believe. Like,
Uh-huh.
just what do we see about the trajectory of him as a player and how it relates to his contract? Because you got a guy in this market that you're not gonna supplant Ja. Maybe 20 other NBA cities he could supplant that guy, but he's not gonna supplant Ja. But what he does, I think Ja's even said it. Jaren being on his game unlocks a different level for this team. So what is
Hmm.
it? What does his development mean in terms of like future All Star? You got another defense. He already got a DPOY.
Yeah,
Like, how
yeah,
high can he get? And then what does that relate in terms of the books and how we can keep him in the court in Memphis?
yeah,
that
bro.
apron
Jaren
coming.
that, yeah, oh for sure. But Jaren that guy, man, like, it's not really anybody that I feel like it's a couple dudes that I can think of. It's like when they guard Jaren, it might be a little tough night. But it's not really anybody at this point. I feel like they can just straight up stop him like that.
Yeah.
Like he was going at AD, in that game,
Facts.
against the Lakers, and it's like, all right, AD, like you saw he was the reason AD picked up that fifth foul in the third quarter when he picked up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fifth foul because he had the arm wrapped around. Jaren tough to guard, like for anybody.
Yeah.
So like that's part of it. Like Jaren done had some real progression. Jaren came into the league real young. He was 18, and every year it was just baby steps, baby step, baby step. But he was getting better every year. So the last 3 years, I done watched him really close. And I remember 3 years ago, it was just flashes. Like he'll score 35 one night, then the next night he just shooting trays, and you like, bro, you just bullied them dudes getting to the rack. Like, and then last year, like everybody talk about how bad last year is, they want to forget it. Like that year was really big for certain players, and Jaren was the main one. Like Jaren
facts.
didn't have no choice but to like he couldn't go out there and be like, here you go, Tosan Awama, or here you go, Jacob Gilliard,
Amar
or
Stevens, get it, baby. Like, come
hey,
on.
Lamar Stevens, I need you. Like, I need you to go 30. I'm gonna try to cook a cool 15 in tonight. Like, I need you to go for. He couldn't do that. With
Yeah.
Jaren and Dez out there, you can say, man, I'm playing defense tonight. Like y'all carry the offense. Like you could, even not saying he would do that, but you can in theory. But last year he had no choice. It was Jaren, we need 30s from you.
Yeah.
And we need you get and you watch them play every possession. He just going up to spin move, dude over here guarding you. Spin back the other way. It's some dude over there. try to shoot. It's two dudes jumping in front of you. Like he saw all of that. So what that did now, he not getting guarded like that. He's still getting a lot of attention. But you put one dude on him, even if it's AD, even if it's Giannis, or even if it's Joel Embiid, it's like, man, this the only dude in front of me. Oh
Yeah.
shoot, go to my like he done turned into this score. He got spots, he got counters. Like he a
Facts.
professional scorer now.
Real live
Facts.
ISO scorer. But she
You
like
take
top
away-
ISO guys in the league right now.
Yes, he top 10 ISO scorer right now. You take away the left shoulder, okay, boom, spin to the right, go that way. You trying to, everybody try to guard him in the paint now. So he coming up in transition. I know y'all done seen it where he just pull up and shoot that transition 3-point on the top of the key. He just pull up and shoot that jump. He shoot that because the big is just sagging in the paint. They getting ready. They know he's finna drive the ball. So
Yeah.
Jaren done turned into, man, like I call him 1B. Like Ja 1A for sure. But like
Oh, God.
it's plenty matchups where teams gonna load up. They gonna have them dudes that's gonna take Ja away from the rim, and Ja gonna have to really work hard to score. But it's gonna be matchups where it's like, man, that's a Jaren night. Like
Yeah.
certain teams off the top of my head, like the Suns, the Magic, them are two teams. Jaren killed the Suns because they got to throw KD on them, and KD too little, and he just be boom, like hitting him with the shoulder, layup, boom, layup. Then I remember they tried to put Nurkic on him. You too slow. Euro, go right around him, easy. Like, go look at the games against Jaren and the Suns last year. Killed him every time. Same thing with the Magic. Like, Paolo, okay, you solid, but you spin move, too agile for him. Like, he ain't big enough, he ain't strong enough. Okay, you try to put Batate on him and all them, I'm too quick. Euro step, I'm slide around you, layup. So, Jaren really a mismatch. Like, he a walking mismatch. And he's starting to figure it out. Like, he real aggressive now. He aggressive with Ja, and they encourage him. Like, man, Ja gets so mad when Jaren not being aggressive. Like, he be real deal pissed off. Like,
As he should.
He be pissed off. But you know what? Like, Jaren get it now. And like he on that. So now with the contract stuff, Jaren, the way he playing right now, like I haven't zeroed in on like all the players yet, but like he look like he could be like a third team all NBA right now. That's all Jaren need to get the super max.
Yeah.
Right now, he qualified for the regular max. He get the regular max, they put you in the first apron. It's a little pay bump for him, but it's nothing like super crazy. He get that super max. You finna say, man, are we keeping Marcus? We keeping Brandon Clark with that contract? We might need to move a little money around. Granted, because of the NBA rules, you got his bird rights, so they can pay him the money without a problem. But it's gonna be the biggest bill that the Grizzlies have ever had in franchise history. But if he makes all NBA, what you gonna say? Nah, we're not gonna pay you the Supermax. Like, you better pay him. Like you ain't finna break up your core. We done seen teams do that. Like they didn't pay James Harden in OKC. You broke up what could have been one of the best cores of all time. So you don't want to do that. So at the end of the day, I think right now he looking like an all NBA player to me. He make all NBA, you gotta cash him out. And I'm talking about that's gonna be like 300-something million, y'all.
That's Tatum money. I was just about to say
it's gonna be in
that's
that
goat
category.
money to you, Josh.
Nah, like for real.
Don't do me in front of Company Twin. Don't do me in front of Mike. Hey, like I said, you was on it in the summertime. Like, hey, seeing that, like the non-game development of Jaren, and like even as a fan perspective, over the last 2 seasons, I'm glad you said about AD too, because in the playoffs, AD showed up, but in the regular season, Jaren has killed him. The only guy that I see that has effectively guarded Jaren in the past 2 seasons is Evan Mobley, and obviously this year. AKS need to know, but he's taking strides in his development in terms of what he does on ball too. But we all know him like that's a DPOY guy. You're coming soon, and honestly, I think that him and Jaren are very similar in terms of what they offer to a team. So
it's certain dudes. Evan Mobley, Nick Claxton is another one. Like he be solid against Jaren. It's a couple more, man. Bam be giving him some trouble because he can't overpower Bam, and Bam move real good. So Bam force you to really get in your bag. Like you gotta dribble, spin this way. You got to really try to get Bam off his spot. So them the dudes that come to mind for sure.
And I don't think anybody will argue.
Ain't nobody in the West though.
And them the three.
You see, it's sweet. It's real sweet over there.
Oh
man.
God,
like, it's real sweet over there.
Everybody want them guards, but I think we literally just named the 3 best defensive centers in the league. So we're saying that Jaren has a mismatch on 27 out of 30 teams. I think we're doing good.
But this the key though. This the real key. When you throw, because right now with Brandon Clark in the lineup, they really ain't doing it. But when you put Zach Edey in the starting lineup, let's say you playing against Bam, for example. They play small. Miami plays small, so they four
Facts.
man is a smaller four. Usually
They
somebody
would
like
expect
Jimmy
somebody.
Butler.
Jaime
So
Jaquez.
Hey,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be Hawkins or Jimmy Butler or something. So when you got Zach Edey aside, you gotta throw the center on the 7'4", 300-pound dude. Like you not about to put a smaller dude on him. So Jaren got the mismatch. Same thing like when you play the Magic. Like, Franz Wagner and Paulo, like they tough. They real tough. That's a legit duo. But at the end of
Yeah.
the day, neither one of them can guard Jaren. But you throw the five on them, like Wendell Carter, he'll hold his own a little bit better. So that's why when you said Evan Mobley, yeah, they got that Jaron Allen and Evan Mobley. They one of the few teams that can say we can throw a center on Zach Edey and we can still hold our own against Jaron. A lot of
Yeah.
teams really since everybody try to play small now, Jaron, he is built like a center. He just moved like a
God.
forward. So
Mhm.
he when he going against these dudes, it's really best for you to put your center on him. But when they throw Zach Edey in the lineup beside him, like
You don't
you
got a
just gotta,
choice.
man, you don't got no choice.
Can't go big on big.
And
You
Zach, there's
can't.
one thing that Jaren can't do is rebound. We love Jaren. We can clean that glass, Jay. Clean that glass, my boy.
Yeah.
Talking about that, we kind of we thrown him in a lot of conversations so far during this, but to focus in on him, we were live. We live streamed a show during the draft. At least me and Vance. I ain't gonna speak on Nick because Nick wasn't there. But me, Vance, and TJ were noticeably upset at the idea of taking a 4-year college player, like you said.
No.
I,
I wasn't upset. No.
okay.
First of all, don't
I can
even
stand
leave
on
it.
all by myself. I can stand
Yeah,
on. Hey,
yeah,
but I ain't
yeah.
never been at this.
Stand on your 10, man.
Forward.
Stand on your 10.
I was not excited
Yeah.
to get Zach Edey at 9. I think we could have. My thought process at the time, trade back. I was
Yeah.
like, Clear Ware can do everything that Zach Edey can do if you get some assets back. And I really wanted Klingon. I thought Klingon was what Zach does in terms of rim
Hey, if you watch
protection.
Klingon right now, it don't sound like a bad idea to have wanted him. Like
Thank you.
he
He just was too
good.
hot. We literally it was unattainable to get him. What was your thoughts on Zach? Last year Purdue, seeing him going from a guy
Mhm.
that's off the radar to NBA lottery pick. Did you expect him to come in and contribute like this right away? And do you
Yeah.
think that this is something, obviously, with the shooting, early sample size were really well, and even just with the rim protection and the finish and everything that Ja
Yeah.
does, do you see this as a sustainable formula for him, not only the rest of this season, but the rest of his
Mhm.
career?
Yeah, everybody had their favorites, right? Like Donovan Clingan, Zach Edey. For one, I'll say this. With Zach Edey, I was always like, okay, he's solid. Like if that was the guy that they come out with, even though I was the same thing, like 9, I feel like if they get Zach Edey, you're gonna trade back a little bit, go back a couple spots or whatever, and you can get him there. And that made sense to me. The guy that I wanted was Khalil Ware. And I still stand on
Mm.
that. If you watched him in summer league, like that's Derek
Facts.
Lively. That's Derek Lively with a 3-pointer to me. Like and right now in Miami he playing behind Bam. So, you can get to really see it or whatever. But if you watched him in summer league, it was 20, 10,
Facts.
3, 4 blocks. Like that was the guy that I felt like that was the one that I wanted personally because he could shoot the tray and he blocking shots, he running to the rim, all that good stuff. But Zach Edey, I wasn't opposed to it. Donovan Clingan, I really wasn't opposed to it because they all good defenders, and that was the main thing you needed. The Grizzlies never needed a center who's gonna go score 20 points. You got 3 dudes who can give you 30 any night. Dez can score 30, nobody gonna be surprised. Jaren scored 30, nobody gonna be surprised. Josh scored 40, nobody gonna be surprised. So like you got 3 dudes that can take over a game at any point. The other 2 guys just need to be good role players. In the center, like you said, Jaren, not a great rebounder. So you need someone who can rebound the ball at a high level. Zach Edey is great at that. And you need someone who can protect the rim. Zach Edey do that. Boom. He'll fit to me. So I wouldn't have drafted him at 9, but I was like, once figured out, okay, that's what they want, that's what they need. It worked. Like it worked for sure.
First of all, man, even before we wrap up, I want to thank you just for the time you give. Like you're a super busy guy. For you to sit on and chop it up with us this long, you ain't rushing to get off, or you ain't rushing to get away.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
appreciate it, man. Like it's you are a special guest, for with our relationship, but also just your role and your knowledge with the league, and we appreciate
For
you just
sure.
I appreciate the time for sure, bro. We
Man,
definitely gonna
just
have to get you back on, sometime, mid-year
yeah.
all
slump.
star John, little in the season, John. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Just hit me up, man. I ain't too far away. Just hit me up. Let's make it happen.
Hey,
Listen, man.
hopefully we can get you back on here with Jaho and the Larry O'Brien, though, man.
Hey, that'll be lit, man. The price of really, ooh, that'll be lit. That'll be lit. That'll really, we'll be on Beale Street going crazy for sure. Everybody be on Beale Street going crazy behind that one.
Oh,
I think I'll
God.
fly back to the city for that one.
Oh, you got to. For the parade,
Hey,
for the
gotta
parade, you
be.
got to. You got
Gotta
to.
be.
Yeah, that's gonna be lit.
So I feel like it's only one right way to kind of end this episode, wrap this episode up. You know, with this being a Memphis-based episode, bro, I gotta ask you as we close this episode,
Yeah.
who got the best barbecue in the city?
Ooh, best barbecue in the city. Man, me,
Or we
let
can do
me.
wings. It's on you.
Okay. I'm gonna do wings then. That's
That's his wheelhouse for sure.
that's now. You know, barbecue. I got my spots, too. But with the wings, man, there's so many good wing spots. I'm gonna say right now, top dog to me is Chicken Coop. Uh, Chicken Coop is
Hey, you
tough.
know ball game. You
I was
know,
like, they buzzing, but if somebody put it out as number one, it's okay.
Chicken
it's,
Coop.
it's my two, but he know ball.
Chicken Coop is tough. Like Crumpy's is what I've ate the most because they got longevity. Crumpy's been around a while. All Stars probably the one I ate the second most. Longevity been around a while. You know,
Yeah.
right around the corner from the crib growing up. Chicken Coop ain't been around that long, but Chicken Coop got they got the crazy coop. They own little touch on it.
Man, what?
Hey man, chicken. Now, the only thing you know you gonna pay. You gonna pay what you weigh. You go to Chicken Coop, but they tough.
For shit, I was finna, on God, I was finna go to Chicken Coop tonight. They ain't answered the phone, so I went to Crumpy's, bro.
See.
No chains even
See?
mentions kind of crazy, but I ain't mad at you. They people it's hype beast, but you got to throw in the OG there just for the place it holds in the city, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's man, that's 1A for me. But I mean, I love Crumpy's. Like I said, what was you said they were two. Chicken Coop was two. Who your one?
Crumpy's my one.
Okay, see,
I grew up on Crumpy's, bro.
Crumpy's my two. Crumpy's my two. So we we just flipping them around. But yeah, I know. Yeah. That's 1-2 for me. But yeah, I'm rolling with Chicken Coop as number one. They like the new kid on the block with a little swagger to him. So you know, I mess with him.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow my guy Damichael on all of his socials. Make sure y'all follow us as well. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and drop any questions y'all got. Drop what y'all want to hear us talk about. Drop any guests y'all want to see on the show. We back live and we in action. Go Grizz, man, and we out of here.